Meet our next crazy project. This time, the victim is a Lada kopeck, a stylish lowered Lada that is just perfect for this project. More specifically, for a hood made from an old Soviet carpet. We didn't have far to find the carpet. It was found in the neighboring dumpster. As it turned out, a genie lives in it. Kolya freed him, told him about the idea, and made a wish. Simsalabim, and it's done. Of course, this is a joke, and reality is much harsher. In fact, Andrei lives in this carpet right next to the workshop. Initially, he didn't want to give up his carpet tent at all. But after Kolya promised him 1.5 a box of matches, he immediately agreed and got to work. First, we remove the hood. What's the idea here? Based on the original shape, we will make exactly the same one but out of carpet. The base will consist of several layers fiberglass mat. And in order to easily separate the carpet hood from the metal one, we cover the entire area with ordinary transparent tape. Looking ahead, I'll say that Kolya was, to put it mildly, displeased when he tried to remove this tape. The next step is to lay the fiberglass mat over the tape with a small margin and impregnate it with polyester resin. And so layer by layer, kilogram by kilogram of resin.
The way you burned me in such a way, so gently and quietly behind my back without me knowing, I take my hand again. And in your embrace, I want to breathe deeply and fully.
Here you can clearly see how the fiberglass mat takes the shape of the hood as intended. Finally, we move on to the most interesting part, Carpet Studio. While the carpet is hanging and punished, we will carefully and thoroughly sand the fiberglass base to create a rough, coarse texture for the carpet, so it adheres well to it. By the way, we will do all this without removing the shell from the metal hood, since during the polymerization of the next polyester resin, heat will be released and our mold might warp. To avoid this, we will glue it directly with the metal hood inside. As I said, so I did. I sanded the fiberglass mat around the entire perimeter. And after an hour and a half, we move on to the next stage. Now we need to cut the carpet to size. We measure, mark, and take up the knife. After the carpet is cut, it needs to be properly positioned on the hood so that the central pattern of the carpet is exactly in the center of the hood. We did it and immediately secured it with screws for convenience in future work. Now all that's left is to thoroughly soak it with resin, and it's done. Or rather, that's what we thought. First, we apply resin to the fiberglass base. Then we lay the carpet on this layer and soak it. It was at this moment that we made a fatal mistake. As you can see, Andrei is pouring the resin very generously. As a result, most of the mixture accumulated in this spot as it is the lowest point. And despite the fact that we used casting polyester resin, it still boiled and deformed this section of the carpet. And we made a blunder. We used casting polyester resin. For the first time, had high hopes, go for it, but something went wrong. Where? Is the carpet more thoroughly soaked in? Where there was a puddle, this kind of skin formed, which twisted and tore away from the plastic base. Clearly, this needs to be redone. Fortunately, we have a second piece of carpet and some minimal experience. Now we'll try to change something in the technology. By the way, we poured 5 liters of resin here. And so it turns out, the polyester went to the trash, where the carpet came from. Attempt number 2, what will we change? We will use regular molding polyester resin. We'll coat the entire hood again. We'll coat the reverse side of the carpet. We'll press it down with some weight and wait for it to adhere to the plastic base so it doesn't warp again. But then we'll start impregnating it. Again, with casting resin on the carpet, hoping it won't tear off or warp, because those who don't take risks don't drink champagne. And, we drink. So attempt number 2. We carefully mix several kilograms of polyester resin, apply it once more to the fiberglass base and the backside of the carpet, but just a little, just enough to bond the two surfaces. We throw the carpet over the hood, secure it with screws, and press it down by all possible means. Our polyester has set, and indeed, it's now time to do the unwrapping and see what we've got.
Begin.
Well, this time everything we planned indeed worked out. The carpet is very securely glued to the plastic shell, and the top part of the carpet remained completely dry. We will vacuum it now and proceed to the first stage of impregnation of this pile. Next, our task is to impregnate only the pile itself. I took a stiff brush, and this process will very much resemble dyeing women's hair. I will use the brush to paint it in strands with polyester like this. Well, that's it. In half an hour you can safely wash your hair. After Andre impregnated the entire pile strand by strand and the resin dried, we apply the next layer. A bit thicker this time, and so many times. This is done so that each layer of resin is not as voluminous as the first time. And in the end, it didn't boil over. This took Andre 2 days. The resin has finally dried completely and we can start sanding. Why is this done? As a result, we want to achieve a fully functional glossy hood that, in terms of technical characteristics, will not be inferior to a standard body panel. For this, we need to cover the top layer with a crust and resin. But at the moment, the fibers soaked with resin are sticking out quite high. We are sanding them down.
The blue in the sky sailed the ships.
After several hours of sanding, we mix the resin and cover the hood carpet with several layers again.
The message signal is very clear indeed.
The next day, when the resin has dried, we proceed to the most interesting part. We need to separate the two elements, the factory metal hood and the brand new carpet plastic hood.
It reminded me quite a lot.
After an hour, the mission is accomplished and everyone goes to do their own tasks. Kolya peels the tape and glue from his hood while Andre uses a grinder to remove the excess. To ensure the hood fits perfectly in place, we refine the edges using this kind of machine. We also use it to smooth the surface, as the final layer was applied with a spatula and, to put it mildly, it's uneven. But after just a few hours, Andre has the hood close to perfection and almost ready for lacquer. But before lacquering it, we need to think about the fastenings. By that time, Kolya had just finished cleaning the hood from the tape. First, we cut the metal plates to the required size. Then we punch and drill a hole.
Gentle and serene season of transition, this willow. It plays with your torn and scattered thoughts, emotions, and feelings.
In fact, we got away with minimal effort here, as the mechanism is extremely simple. The hinges themselves remained on the body. We only need to make a matching platform that will be glued to the hood and then screwed to the hinges. And it looks like this. We screwed it on, placed the hood, marked the attachment point, and started preparing the two platforms for joining together. But how to prepare? We simply sanded down the two surfaces thoroughly. Will you throw me off the ground? The next step was when Andre prepared a secret mixture, which includes putty, fiberglass, and polyester resin. So it's not that secret anymore, but oh well. Then Andre started generously applying the well-known mixture, after which he placed the hood. That's joining process, and then we thoroughly covered this structure with fiberglass fabric. Essentially, the hood is ready. It just needs to be sanded with finer sandpaper and coated with varnish. But in the original, this panel has a cooling hole. And since we're making a copy of the original, we decided to replicate this element as well. We mark it, attach the hood to the CNC machine, and, using a simple program, we make an exact copy of this ventilation grill. Before coating all this beauty with varnish, we refine the small details by hand. We blow it off, degrease it, and finally we can apply the final layer of varnish. All that's left is to put on the hood and check the results.
Subtitles, made by and meticulously crafted with care. Subtitles by Dimitor. Noise is ongoing. Noise is ongoing. Dimitor doc is a unique term used in specialized contexts to denote something significant.
Well, it's cool. I especially like this element. It turned out quite neat.
Well, yes, it looks amusing, red on red.
But let's go capture people's reactions in the city.
Let's go otherwise, as I added, but